He was referring in this to India's strategic alliances with various countries. Among them, he mentioned America and also Russia. And in fact, he played a video of External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar in this context and praised India's foreign policy again and again and said that even Europe is buying oil from them. This is with reference to the oil crisis facing the world, even as various countries in the West, after Russia's attack on Ukraine, had various issues over Russian oil and gas. And now Imran Khan referring to Pakistan and Pakistan's problems, comparing it with India, and he praises India's foreign policy, says India's foreign policy has always made it a strategic partner. Lauds the foreign policy of Prime Minister Modi. And praises how India has managed the oil crisis in the country and has managed to have a strategic alliance with the United States of America. In this context, he praises, and he's basically praising, and he even plays a video of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. Imran Khan, in a surprising statement, has praised India's foreign policy under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And he made various references in this regard. Firstly, about how India managed the oil crisis that faced almost the entire world. How India has managed good relations with Russia and the United States of America. Let's listen in to know more.
अब मैं आपको दो मुल्कों के फॉरेन मिनिस्टर्स दिखाना चाहता हूं। पहले हिंदुस्तान का फॉरेन मिनिस्टर, उसको हुक्म दिया, उसको कहा कि जनाब आप रूस से तेल ना खरीदें। अब ये गौर से सुने, हिंदुस्तान अमेरिका का स्ट्रेटेजिक एलाय है। हमारा कोई अमेरिका के साथ अलायंस नहीं है। हिंदुस्तान अमेरिका का स्ट्रेटेजिक एलाय है। और उनको जब अमेरिका ने कहा कि आप रूस से तेल ना खरीदें, तो उनके फॉरेन मिनिस्टर ने क्या कहा, ये देखें।
I mean, I don't want to sound argumentative, but then tell me if buying Russian gas is not funding the war? I mean, why is it's only Indian money and oil coming to India which funds, but it's not gas coming to Europe which funds? I mean, look, somewhere, I mean, let's be a little even-handed out here. And even this, look, the whole narrative that it's gone up 9 times. I mean, it's gone up 9 times from a very low base. And it was a very low base because at that time the markets were more open. Why if countries in Europe and the West and the United States are so concerned, why don't they allow Iranian oil to come into the market? Why?
So, well, Imran Khan, former Pakistan Prime Minister, lauding India's foreign policy. And joining us is our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, to take us through this, to explain and put this into perspective. Abhishek, when we talk about Imran Khan lauding India's foreign policy and setting it up as an example of Azad Mulk, how should we understand it?
Well, Rukma, it has to be said that but for the fact that this is coming from an enemy nation, and it's a double compliment in that sense, Imran Khan is stating the obvious. We have seen how External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has been doing this plain speaking right there where it matters. He has done this in Washington, D.C., he has done this in London, he has done this in Paris, he has done this in Berlin, he has done this across the world capital. So, and the common thread in the arguments that have been put across by External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is that India is not in this camp or that camp. India is in its own camp, and we are guided by our own sovereign interests. So I think not the first time that Imran Khan, of course, has brought in this comparison between an absolutely fond foreign policy and economic policy of Pakistan vis-a-vis the robustness with which India really deals with the world. Maybe it's a grudging acknowledgement, but acknowledgement nevertheless. And that's why I said it's a double compliment coming as it does from an enemy nation that our conduct and our standing in the Committee of Nations is really respected. Remember, just last week we had Mexican President Obrador mentioning that there has to be a committee of 3 global statesmen which has to call for world peace, and that included Prime Minister Narendra Modi, apart from UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres and Pope Francis. So I think Pakistanis realize that Imran Khan was Prime Minister just till a couple of months back. In fact, as a build-up to his losing power in Islamabad, he was ad nauseum mentioning the independence with which India conducted its foreign policy vis-a-vis Pakistan. Obviously, Pakistan is dependent on foreign money. We have seen how they have gone with the begging bowl, not just to the present government, but even Imran Khan when he was Prime Minister, to the Saudis, to the UAE, to the IMF. Last week we had reports that the Pakistani Army Chief General Bajwa has spoken to Pentagon to persuade IMF to release a $1.2 billion loan, which IMF has promised but is yet to deliver. And yesterday, in fact, we had these reports that the Saudis have finally agreed to deposit, not loan, just deposit $3 billion to facilitate Pakistan getting that 1.2 billion crucial loan from IMF, without which it's likely that Pakistan would default. They are in dire straits economy-wise on the eve of our 75th year of independence. No, for them, in fact, it's today. And for Imran Khan to be making that point on how lacking Pakistan is on economic sovereignty, on overall foreign policy sovereignty, on the day when they are marking their completion of 75 years of independence post-partition, I think really in a way is a reflection of the different trajectories the two countries took post-14-15 August 1947, and it's in a way commentary on the way India's leadership built itself since independence, and then today we are in a position where External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, apart from the fact that he can give a masterclass on foreign policy to any foreign minister across the globe, he can really look in the eye to any world leader and call spade a spade. So a double compliment there coming in from former Pakistani Prime Minister, irrespective of the fact that he might be doing this to just browbeat the present government. The fact of the matter is that even under him, Pakistan was in dire straits economy-wise, and even Imran Khan was seen begging for those loans for which even the Shahbaz Sharif government is going from door to door, nation to nation, just to keep the Pakistani economy afloat, almost on a week-to-week basis.
Right. Right, Abhishek. Many thanks for joining us there and for putting that into perspective. Imran Khan, in a surprising comment, praises Prime Minister Modi, lauds Prime Minister Modi and India for its foreign policy, and says that and sets it up as an example. In fact, he praises it at a Lahore rally and even shows a video of Dr. S. Jaishankar dealing with questions of buying Russian oil and so on. And as Abhishek said, it's a double compliment from the former Prime Minister of a beleaguered nation. And moving on now to other news. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, billionaire